The Grammys are over. Not relevant anymore. Don't believe me? Well, here are the facts. Hello and welcome to Music News Hack. My name's Spence and this is the Prosperous Musician, helping you prosper in the music business. So what have Arianne Grande, Public Enemy, Zayne Malik, Ocen, Kanye West, Drake, Eminem, Justine Beiber and The Weeknd, what have they all got in common? That's right, they have all dissed or completely boycotted the Grammys. Even Beyonce, who won the most amount of Grammys by any single living person, didn't want to play on the night of the Grammys, of the 2021 63rd Grammy event. So basically the problem is with the Grammys and other sort of award ceremonies similar to this, is that the voting system is just based on an anonymous pool of music executives. And so it isn't based on anything but their opinion. Nothing to do with fans even. So no one needs this anymore, as it's 2021. It's the age of transparency. It's the age of wokeness and Gen Z. The music industry has changed. People have changed. And the record labels just aren't that relevant anymore, are they? Artists can talk to their fans directly through social media now. And how can we really judge art against each other? The only metric to measure it really is by sales. And even that doesn't say that one song is actually better than another. It's all subjective taste, isn't it? So the times are changing. I, for one, am glad that these annual industry backslapping events are just not that relevant anymore to the audience that they're aimed at. Okay, you could say, well, it was a socially distanced thing. It wasn't, it didn't have the usual razzmatazz, but actually, for me, that actually just highlighted how vacuous an event it actually is. Without the sort of crowd atmosphere, it felt very flat. And even Trevor Noah, who's quite a funny comedian, he couldn't make it watchable. He's just, well, in my opinion, he's just a corporate shill as well. You know, he's just like a mouthpiece for the networks. So people like Bill Burr, who turned up and got some flack for what he said, only really they can tell it how it is. Only those kind of comedians, and Ricky Gervais, they can only say it how it is because they're independent. They're just comedians. Whereas Trevor Noah, he does the Daily Show, and he's hired by a network. So he can't say too much. He can go sail close to the wind, but he can't be truly off the wall. He can truly honest like someone like Bill Burr or Ricky Gervais. Anyway, rant over for now. So here are the facts. So the 63rd annual Grammy Awards were watched by a live US TV audience of 8.8 million on Sunday, on March the 14th. Today it's March the 17th, by the way. So that's down over 53% year on year, according to the time zone adjusted from Nielsen, who does. So those 8.8 viewers were down nearly 10 million on the 18.7 live TV for last year. So it was down 18.7 million viewers. That's no coincidence, is it? The figures also mean that the 2021's edition of the ceremony, hosted this year, as we said, by Trevor Noah, was the least watched Grammys of all time. Additionally, Nielsen reports the 2021's Grammys had a rating of just 2.1 amongst the ages of 18 and 49. And that's the target ages, isn't it? That's who it's aimed at. This rating number indicates the percentage of all US TV watching adults within this age bracket to have viewed the Grammys broadcast on some Sunday on CBS. In other words, only 2.1% of 18 to 14-year-olds in the whole of the US tuned into the Grammys on Sunday, while 97.9 of them didn't. Get that. 2.1 did, 97.9 didn't. On a Sunday. There's nothing to do on a Sunday. And still didn't watch it. Come on. The equivalent demographic rating number stood at 5.4 and in 2019 was 5.6. So it's just getting from bad to worse, isn't it? So the Grammys aren't the only US awards to see their TV ratings plummet during the pandemic. Now, you can blame it on the pandemic and because it's flat and because it hasn't got all the, the social distancing, it's not there. But there's something else going on here, isn't it? The Golden Globes audience fell 64% to 6.9 million viewers, while the American Music Awards in November, drawing just 3.8 million viewers, a 50% year-over-year decline. So when they're going to get the message soon that people aren't interested, it's only industry people that are watching this. The pandemic could obviously have played a role in the scale-down, socially distanced Grammys' low TV ratings on Sunday, but others will question the relevance. Exactly. So get this, and this is one of the reasons, one of the main reasons why it wasn't watched by so many people. Because, you look at what people are doing. They're watching Netflix. Netflix subscriber had record numbers in 2020 during the pandemic. So the Queen's Gambit, for example, had record numbers, attracting blockbuster kind of figures. And not even a performance from K-pop superstars BTS, who broke a pay-per-view record for their Bang Bang Con live concert in 2020. Even they couldn't boost the numbers. They played to like millions of people, but none of those people really watched it on Sunday night. So what does that say? It says it's not relevant anymore. Hello? Pack it in, stop it, it's not working. Grammys. And talking of BTS, they were the world's biggest selling recording artists last year. But for the first time ever, no British acts made the top 10 of the best-selling acts. So each year, Global Recorded Music by the IFPI publishes a top 10 list of artists reflecting the biggest revenue-generating acts across all formats during the calendar's 12 months. So this isn't based on public opinion. It's not based on taste or style or who's in or out. It's just on cold, hard facts. Cold, hard sales. Units shifted. Yes, now we're talking. The list for 2020 was released by the IFPI list last week, and it is historic for two reasons. The first being it was led by a non-US or UK artist for the first time, with BTS pipping Taylor Swift and Drake to the top. So they're the big three, aren't they? Secondly, artists who recorded music was affiliated with the Universal Music Group occupy no less than 9 spots in the top 10. Basically, the whole of the UMG group are in that top 10, bar one. So technically, that's 9 point something when you include BTS. Most of the K-pop stars' music is released via Big Hit Sony Music in major national territories, but their Japanese language recordings go through Big Hit Universal Music. So even because if BTS went through Universal Music in worldwide, then they'd just totally dominate that chart. And also the big thing this week is NFTs. What are NFTs? Everyone's going on about them. Well, I'll tell you. Music-related NFT sales have topped 25 million in just the last 4 weeks, in the last month. So the jury's out whether non-fungible tokens, fungible, great word, not sure what it means, are a music industry fad. Could be, could be not. Or a transformative harbinger of the business's future. Either way, it's booming. Last month it was reported that the digital collectibles had generated over $100 million in sales in just 30 days across entertainment formats. Now, NFTs are starting to gain mainstream traction in the music industry, as evidenced by the flurry of news in the past few weeks from superstar artists selling millions of dollars worth of the digital assets to their fans. Additionally, just today, Music Business Week, who I get a lot of my information from, and I advise you to check their site out. It's awesome. If you're looking for a job in the music industry, it has a jobs board. It's got all the latest news and has interviews with lots of the music industry bods in there, so check it out. So they reported that video games brand Atari, remember them, is getting into the NFT business in a huge way, partnering with Bondly, an e-commerce platform for digital assets, to launch NFTs across gaming, music and other areas. So here's a recap of the, if you want to know a bit more about that, then get onto the MBW website, Music Business Weekly, and it will tell you a bit more about the recent NFT sales, which add up to a total revenue of 25 million in the past month alone. So interesting stuff there. So that's the news highlights for this week. Quite a lot going on there with the Grammys, NFTs, and the biggest selling acts all being under Universal Music Group. But what happened on this day, the 17th, St. Paddy's Day, St. Patrick's Day, hoo. So what happened on this day who was born on this day? Let's have a look, shall we? In 1967, Billy Corgan, American musician, songwriter with alternative rock act. Smashing Pumpkins, who had the 1995 US #1 with Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. Remember him? So he is, I can't work it out, but anyway, he's old. 1973, that was the year I was born, so she'd be 48, so let's work that out. 48 foot 6 is, so he's 54, Billy Corgan. There you go, just worked it out. Caroline Core, blimey. Caroline Core, she played drums and vocals, which isn't that easy to do. Karen Carpenter did it as well. It's not easy. The Irish band, she played with the Irish band, The Corrs, of course. They had, in 1998, they had 3 UK singles, What I Can Do, What Can I Do. Talk on Corners was the best selling UK album of 1998, spending 142 weeks on the UK chart. And The Corrs, as a family, as a group, have sold over 40 million copies of their things worldwide. So they're Irish. There you go. There's the Irish connection today. And why am I talking like Terry Wogan? Do you even know who Terry Wogan is? He's not Irish. Oh, yes, he is. You wouldn't tell from your impression, though, would you? Anyway, another Irish fella, Stephen Gately. He was born in 1976, so that makes him 45. Would have made him 45. He was the vocals in the Irish band Boyzone, who had 21, UK hit singles, including 6 #1 singles. Their breakthrough hit was the second single and cover version of the classics Osmond hit, Love Me for a Reason, Let the Reason Be Love. It peaked at #2 on the UK singles chart. Gately had the solo 2000 UK #3 single, New Beginning and Bright Eyes. Great song, that. But sadly, very sadly, he died of a congenital heart defect in 2009. And Take Me to Church is another Irish fellow, I believe. Irish singer-songwriter Hosier, his self-titled 2014 album went to #1 in 9 European countries, and his 2013 single Take Me to Church, wow, that's 9 years old, 8 years old, wow. It was a top 3 hit in 10 European countries. Great artist. So that's the birthdays, but what happened in the world of music on this day? Let's have a look, shall we? Well, can you guess what I'm going to say next? Well, in 1957, Elvis Presley brought probably the most famous house in the world, Graceland, the Graceland Mansion, from Mrs. Ruth Brownmore for just £102,000, dollars rather, which is about £60,000. Cheap as chips. The 23-room, 10,000 square foot home on 13.8 acres of land would be expanded to 17,552 square feet of living room space before Elvis moved in a few weeks later. The original building had at one time been a place of worship used by the Graceland Christian Church. That's why it got its name. And it was named after the builder's daughter, Grace Toof. It could have been Grace Roof. So there you go, there's a little bit of trivia there for you. Also on this day, in 1967, 10 years later, the Jimi Hendrix Experience released Purple Haze, All in My Brain. Excuse me while I kiss this guy. Hendrix had read Night of Light, which is a 1966 novel by Philip Jose Farmer. In the story, set on a distant planet, sunspots produced a purplish haze, which had a disorientating effect on the inhabitants. It's thought that Hendrix took this as the idea for the song's lyrics, or he was off his tits on acid. Probably both. In 2016, the 1970... No, this is a bit confusing. In 2016, the 1975, the English rock band, they were at #1 on the US album chart with their second album, I Like It When You Sleep, because you are so beautiful yet unaware of it. Not at all not a pretentious album title at all. The album title set the record for the longest of a Billboard #1 album with 71 characters. Maybe that's why they did it. And one of my favourite bands, the Smiths, in 2006 turned down a $5 million, £2.8 million offer to reform for a music festival. Not a huge amount of money, that really, is it? Split amongst the band. The band, who split acrimoniously in 1987, rejected the bid to get back together for this year's Coachella US Festival. And in 1975, 2 years after I was born, on Justine Hawkins, the singer with the English rock band The Darkness, who had 2003 UK #2 single "I Believe in a Thing Called Love," and the UK #1 album "Permission to Land." The album was certified quadruple platinum in the United Kingdom with sales of over 1.3 million. And the 2004, the band won 3 Brit Awards. And on 2005, on his 30th birthday, Justine Hawkins from The Darkness became the centre of the latest hands-on activity at Madame Tussauds, which is the wax museum in London. His wax double would judge the air guitar skills of visitors who would be invited to play an imaginary guitar, with smoke and music pumping out. Hawkins said, "I find the process of air guitar really silly. What makes a good air guitarist? Alcohol." And that brings us to the end of this week's Music News Hack. My name is Spence. This is the Prosperous Musician. Please, if you enjoyed this, give us a like. Put your comments down below. Let me know what you thought about this, what you think about the Grammys and those kind of backslapping events. And please be sure to hit subscribe. We do new videos weekly. And hit the subscribe bell, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the stuff that we do here. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Take care.